Hi, this is Carl, and this is an interesting and different kind of video. I know they're all different, but today I want to talk about a very interesting way that you can look at your sales and how you learn from your process. Today I want to talk about what you can learn by posting an ad on Craigslist. Welcome to episode 10 of the Cheeky Sales Coach. So I hope you've noticed the video is a little bit different. The audio is probably different as well. Give me your feedback. Put comments down below, send me a note, whatever. You can go to cheekysalescoach.com and fill out the form to give me feedback. I've got a new 4K Sony camera, and of course I'll do a review of it and all that, but it also is supposed to have amazing and spectacular audio. So as I work through trying to improve every little piece, one of the advantages of this is that I'm going to be able to take a smaller piece of the video and zoom in and maintain the high quality. So anyway, well, we'll play with it. It'll be fun. You'll see. In the meantime, let's talk about Craigslist. Okay, so 6 or 7 things that you can learn from Craigslist. Number 1, the world is filled with weirdos. I know it's not a very nice thing to say, but we all know it's true, even if we try not to say it. So, you put an ad on Craigslist and you get people who send you incoherent emails. You get people who say, "Oh, here, I want to do business with you, but first I need to prove that you're safe, so please go to this website, put in your credit card, and, blah, blah, blah." And, it's like, oh my God, why are you bothering me? So, why do we care that the world is full of weirdos? Well, here's the deal. Whether you like it or not, weirdos also spend money, and you have to decide how many weirdos you want in your sales funnel. I know, again, it just sounds odd, but think about, there's a normal distribution of people in the universe. Some of them are your core clients. And, one of the things you have to remember is that no matter who you're dealing with, no matter how long you've been in business, there's a lot of people that you know nothing about that you do business with all the time. And some of them are just a little bit different. And that's okay. We're all a little bit different, right? One of my favorite sayings my brother has is, everybody's somebody's weirdo, right? So what you know about your clients is exactly how much they reveal to you in the relationship that you have. What are the things you don't see about them that might be useful in the sales process? And remember also, there are some people that you just don't want to do business with. So, lesson number 2 from Craigslist is, please eliminate non-buyers as quickly as possible. Some people might express an interest in what you're selling or what you're doing, but if they're just wasting your time, you need to move on and go do something else as quickly as possible. One of the most interesting things is number 3. You can learn a great deal about what matters to your buyers from Craigslist. Here's what I mean. First of all, you put out an ad. Let's just say you're selling, a picnic table. And the first 3 emails are from people who say, how long is it? What color is it? Is it weatherproofed? Is it sealed? How long have you had it? Right? There's all of this information that they're asking for. I hope your first response is to say, oh, I should probably put that in my ad. In other words, you learn what matters to people, and then you can lead with the stuff that they actually care about. Or maybe it's you can lead with the things that check a lot of boxes so that you can get down to the sales conversation as quickly as possible. Number 4, unfortunately, one of the great lessons of Craigslist is that people do not value your time unless you value your time. People will waste your time. They'll say, oh, I'll be there at 3, I'll be there at 2, I'll be there tomorrow, I'll be there next Wednesday. Can you hold this for 2 weeks until I finish selling my boat? Of course the answer is no. But the key lesson is people will waste your time if you let them. And Craigslist is kind of the Wild West, or the untamed reality where your business touches your potential buyers. And so if you do something on Craigslist, you'll see right away that there's a whole lot of people that are willing to waste your time without a second thought. Keep that in mind, because in your core business, people will also do the same thing. It costs them nothing to say, hey, can you give me another quote? Oh, can you completely redo that quote for a different product, for a different laptop, for right, a different camera, for whatever it might be. Whatever you sell, people have no idea what's involved in your quoting process. So for them to say, can you completely redo this with different criteria, they don't realize that it might potentially be a completely new quote as far as the amount of labor that is required. But it costs them nothing to ask. So at some point you have to draw the lines. And we're going to do a video next week on the quoting process. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, just remember that people will waste your time in many, many ways in the sales process. And so you have to figure out how you're going to go through the list of all of your prospects, give them the information they need, and not let them waste your time. Lesson number 5 from Craigslist. Some people just want a bargain. They just want to negotiate. They want to ask for a discount. It's built into their DNA. And so you have to decide how you want to handle that. You know, part of this has to do with filters. Have you filtered people appropriately so that you get rid of the bargainers before you get to the actual close? Probably not. Most of us are not very good at that. But just remember, people are sometimes actually insulted if you don't come down on the price. Some people won't buy if you don't give them a penny off or $1 off or something. It's bizarre. But what happens, and Craigslist is a perfect example of this, is people learn that they have to list something for a higher price so they can bargain down to the price they actually want. I hate that. You probably hate that. Most people don't like having fake prices or fake sales, right? Because it's like, okay, let's just say that what you really, really need is $800 per unit, whatever you're selling. And so you price it at $1,000, knowing that somebody's going to want 10%, somebody's going to want 20%, somebody's going to want 50% off. And so you have to decide, do you really need an $800 target, or do you need an $800 average sale in order to meet your goals? Or do you enjoy bargaining down? The part that bothers me and bothers some people is the idea that every single person you talk to is paying a different price. Now, having said that, let's look at the airlines. One time I heard a quote, and I can't remember who it's from, but from some airline executive, that if there were 130 seats on an airline and there are 123 people or 123 different prices that were paid, he said, well, what that tells me is I missed the opportunity for 7 more price ranges. In other words, they actually have a model where everybody pays a different price for the same essential trip going from point A to point B. But some people don't feel comfortable with that. So the bottom line is you got to figure out what kind of bargaining you enjoy and accept and what you'll put up with. There are some people who simply draw the line and say, no, the price is the price. And if you can't afford that, that's cool. Let's figure out what you can afford for the budget you have. I personally prefer that approach very much. Anyway, number 5 is all about bargaining and negotiating prices. So you have to figure out, what are your rules? What is your process? What do you want to do? And again, this is one of these things where a lot of people say, well, it's different every time. No, it's not. If you're in business for 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 30, 40 years, you see a lot of the same stuff again and again and again. And so you have to have rules and you have to have processes that help you negotiate the way you want to do it. Number 6, hey, let's face it, it's better to make a sale than not make a sale. One of the biggest lessons that you can learn from posting an ad on Craigslist is that no matter what gyrations you go through, when you walk away and you're counting your money, it feels good, right? So when you go out there, I know that a lot of the pieces of the sales process can be a real hassle. Dealing with weirdos, dealing with bargaining that you don't want to do, having people waste your time. But at the end of the day, if you get the money and you say, you know what? Bottom line is, that was a process that worked well for me. Document it, clarify it, right? Make sure that you can replicate a successful process. Hey, if you learned anything here or had fun, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Please send me your comments and questions over at cheekysalescoach.com. This is Karl from Cheeky Sales Coach, wishing you the best of luck in everything you do. Call to action. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you won't miss a thing.